Hello everybody, DM Gashbad here, and we are back with another Zombicide First Edition game report. So like last time, we are using the Ghostbusters, the original 4. Again, we're using the models from the Cryptozoic board game. Hey, I had them painted, I'm going to use them. And I continue to try and go through the missions in order with 4-player games, starting with the easiest. I'm still painting my way through the zombie models, so I want to advance in stages with the smaller maps with the smallest number of spawn zones. And so the next mission that we're going to do is actually not from the rulebook, it's not from the additional missions on the Zombicide website, it's actually from the Zombicide Survivor's Guide, which you can find on the Zombicide website in the Game Stuff Utilities section. They've got 2 missions at the very end. This is the first one, mission E01, A Simple Plan. A 4-tile map with 3 spawn points. It seems pretty straightforward. Our job is to get access to the subway tunnels, so there's an exit point in the bottom right section of the map. The entrance to the subway, I guess, is in that building down there. It is locked behind a blue door. We can open that up when we get the blue objective in the top left. It's guarded by a single fatty, but of course that's deceptive, because as soon as the game starts, it's going to have 2 equal paths to get to us, so it's immediately going to split into 2. The Ghostbusters start in the bottom left building with the door already open. So yeah, this one seems pretty straightforward. Let's just get right to it. As a quick reminder, all of the Ghostbusters start with the Proton Pack and have the Proton Pack escalation skill. Ray ended up with the frying pan, and he also has a skill that allows him to search more than once in a turn. Pete Venkman has a pistol and has the taunt skill. Winston Zedmore has a fire axe and has the lifesaver skill. And Egon Spengler can fire at +1 range and has the crowbar. The crowbar automatically opens doors and doesn't cause any noise, so I'm going to start with Egon. All these guys start with 2 actions in the blue experience level, and so Egon is going to use his first 2 actions to move up 2 zones in front of the first door to the big building in the north, where I have to go to get that blue objective. His final action will be to pop open that door, and so we've got to spawn 4 rooms in the right-hand section of the big building. We're still separated from the left-hand side by 2 more doors. As always with the Zombicide, I'm going to spawn from the furthest room to the closest, so the far right room gives us few, so no zombies show up. The next one over to the right gives us a single walker. The one at the top gives us another walker, and then the last one, again empty with a still cool result. So that wasn't too bad, but it does leave the Ghostbusters with nothing to shoot at, since there's nothing in that first room, and I don't want to move them in there, because then I'll just have a couple of walkers wander into my zone, and that's no good. So the next person to go is Winston Zedmore. He's going to search in the room that he's in, and he's going to find a rifle. Then he's going to move 2 zones to join up with Egon. Then I'm going to activate Ray. Ray is going to search in that same room, and he gets the Ah card, so a zombie shows up in his zone. So Ray's kind of stuck a little bit. He's stuck with that stupid frying pan, which just isn't going to do anything against a walker. He can't fire with his Proton Pack into the same zone because he'll just hit Venkman. So what he's going to do instead is he's going to use his last 2 actions to just move out onto the street. That leaves Venkman alone in the room with the walker, but at least he's not going to hit any friends when he fires in there, so takes a shot, kills off the walker, gets himself an XP. He spends his next 2 actions to move up the street to join Winston and Egon. So zombie turn, the fatty in the top left is still trying to get after us, even though it can't because of those closed doors, but it has 2 ways to go, so of course it splits into 2. The 2 zombies in the remaining room both join in to the room right in front of most of my Ghostbusters. And then we'll go into the spawn phase, starting in the left. We immediately go and spawn Zool. Zool the Terror Dog. That's the thing with using these Ghostbusters expansions. That zombie deck is absolutely loaded with abominations. It has to be because those Proton Packs are pretty good. Moving around clockwise to the right, we end up with a fatty, and of course this is first edition, so the fatty shows up with 2 walkers to keep it company. And down in the south, we get another Terror Dog. We get Vince Clortho. Right in the zone next to Ray stands. This could be a problem. With the standard Zombicide First Edition rules, I may have gotten this a little bit mixed up when I was talking about the game the last time. If you get another abomination, one's already on the board, normally you just spawn a fatty and 2 walkers, but Vince Clortho and Zool have a special rule. If you draw another Vince or Zool card while they're already on the table, then you get another abomination. You don't get a fatty and 2 walkers. And if all of your abominations are already on the table, then all the abominations get another action. So with both Vince and Zool on the table, that gets a lot more likely. And another quick note here, like last time, I played this game once before and I messed up a rule. This time, I completely forgot to put the southern spawn zone on the board. So I played the whole game with only 2 spawn zones, and I won, which is unsurprising. But it doesn't count because I didn't do it legitimately, so we're playing it again. Still didn't feel exactly easy, but anyway, here we go. I'm going to start off with Egon Spengler. Spengler has +1 range. I've got a couple zombies right in front of me, but I don't need to really worry about them. I'm going to take all my shots at Zool all the way on the left, see if I can't get rid of that terror dog before it comes to bother me. The way the proton pack works is for your first shot, you roll 3 dice and you hit on 5+. Then for every shot after that, you add 1 more die. So your second shot in a row is 4 dice, your third shot will be 5 dice. It starts as a strength 1 weapon, so it can only kill walkers and runners. But for every 6 you roll, then it goes up 1 strength. So if you roll 1 6, now you can kill fatties, and if you roll 2 6s in a single shot, then you can kill the abominations. So it's not exactly easy, but it's what I got. So I'm going to fire all 3 shots at Zool. First shot, 3 dice, don't come up with a double 6. Second shot, 4 dice, don't come up with a double 6. Last shot, also don't come up with a double 6. Disappointing, but not surprising. Once the Ghostbusters get that 4th action and you're rolling 6 dice, well, then you kind of start being in business. But early games, it's hard. Next up, I'm going to go with Ray. Ray is looking right at Vince, looking to chase him down. Spend my first 2 actions shooting at Vince, and again, I don't come up with that double 6. Originally, I was planning on using my last action to join the Ghostbusters, but I kind of was feeling like I was due. Like those double 6s were just waiting, and it's hard to throw away a 5-die proton shot, so I went for it and I got the double 6. Ray goes and blasts Vince Clortho right off the table. Get out of here, bad dog. Gets himself 5 XP. Next we go to Pete Venkman. Pete's got 2 zombies standing right in front of him. He's going to have to go and spend all 3 actions to get rid of those 2. Finally got Winston. Winston could go into the building, and he's got a fire axe. He could open up one of those doors, but I feel like that might be a bad idea. I don't know what's behind those doors. That could be anything. So instead, he's going to move off to the right. He's going to take a shot at that crowd of zombies over there. His first shot manages to kill off 1 walker. In this game, the walkers are hit first, and then the fatties and abominations. Second shot, 4 dice. Manages to get 2 hits, and one of them is a 6. So the strength goes up to 2. He kills off the remaining walker and the fatty. Good job, Winston. So far, things are going okay. So zombie turn, and Zool over on the left moves up a little bit. The 2 fatties in the room on the top left join forces in that lower right room. For spawns, the left gives us 2 walkers, the right gives us a runner. And down to the south, I draw another Zool card. Zool's already on the table, so I put down a regular abomination. Haven't had to fight one of these yet. Might feel kind of nice and easy by comparison. So Ghostbuster turn again. I'm going to start with Winston Zedmore. He's got a runner right in front of him. Those guys are dangerous. I need to get rid of him. Winston takes a shot, but he misses. 3 dice, can't come up with a 5 or 6. Second shot, though, manages to blast its head off. Another XP for Winston. He moves back into the zone with Pete and Egon. Pete and Egon have a job to do. They've got to do something about Zool that's bearing down on him. Going to start with Venkman. Misses with his first shot. Manages to get the double 6 on the second shot. Nice job, Pete. I think we're about ready to do something about that building on the top left. So I'm going to move into the building. Still don't want to open that door just yet, though. I'm going to activate Egon. Egon's going to take 2 shots down the street off to the left. He's going to kill off a walker with both shots. Clears that area for me. He's then going to move into the building to provide support. So Ray's last go in the round. I want him to move up to join Egon and Venkman. I'm just going to outrun the abomination for now, but when I thought about it a little bit, I figured there was nothing really else for Ray to do. I didn't want to search in the building when I got there because number 1, equipment doesn't really help the Ghostbusters that much, and number 2, I didn't want to draw another card. I didn't really want to shoot at the abomination all turn because if Ray manages to kill the abomination, then he's going to go up into the orange experience level. So that's going to make all the regular spawns more dangerous, and more importantly, it's going to make the spawns inside that building more dangerous. So I'm kind of happy with where I've got, but at the last moment I kind of figured, what the heck, I'll just throw 3 dice at the abomination. I'm not going to kill it, but I sure hate to waste an action. Ray goes and shoots the abomination, and gets the 2 6s he needs to blast it. Holy smoke, I didn't know you had it in you. So yeah, Ray goes up to the yellow experience level, he gets another action. Good job, I guess, but that could actually make this a little bit more dangerous. He moves north 1 zone, he takes the rifle from Winston, uses a trade action, just something a little bit better than that frying pan. Who knows, I might need something that can shoot a little further. And then he moves up 1 more zone to join the rest of the Ghostbusters. So zombie turn, it's pretty quiet on the streets and the fatties can't go anywhere, so we go straight to the spawn phase. We get 2 walkers over on the left, and again, remember, we're spawning with the yellow danger zone this time. We get Vince Clortho again on the right. Geez, these guys are persistent. And in the south, we get another fatty with his 2 walker buddies. So back to the Ghostbusters, and the time has come. Time to see what's in this top left building. Egon uses his crowbar to open up the door, and again, spawning furthest from closest, we get 2 walkers in the top left. We get Stay Puft. Gozer the Destructor shows up in the top right room. That is unhelpful. Stay Puft, if you'll remember, can only be killed if you hit him with a proton pack with a damage 3 shot from 2 different Ghostbusters in the same turn. He is not easy to get rid of. The bottom left room gives us 3 walkers, and we get 3 more walkers in the room right in front of us to join the 2 fatties that are already there. Well, Egon still has 2 more actions, and our priority is to clear out that room right in front of us. Egon takes his first shot, kills off 1 walker. Second shot, kills off another one. It's a start. Going to have Venkman go next. He's going to take a shot into that same room. His first shot misses. Second one, though, manages to roll a 6 and another hit, so he kills off the last walker and a single fatty. That puts him in the yellow experience level, which is nice, because I'm going to need to get my guys leveled up as soon as I can now. So he's got 2 more actions. His second shot misses completely. Too busy bragging about how great he's doing. Anyway, he does have 1 more attack, though. That one kills off the last fatty, clearing that room. I'm going to activate Ray next. We need to kill off some of those walkers. I can't do anything about Stay Puft right now, but I don't want to just dive in there and get swarmed by those guys. Never know when an additional action for these walkers is going to come out now that I'm in the yellow experience level. So Ray's just going to move forward 1 square. He's going to take a shot into that left-hand room, kills a single walker, takes a second shot, kills 2 more walkers. Final action, moves back out to join the rest of his friends. Finally, we're going to activate Winston. Winston's going to move 2 zones to the north. He's got a fire axe. What I'm planning on doing is drawing Stay Puft down 1 room, then we're going to quickly bust in the other way, grab that objective, and just kind of do a ring around the rosy with the guy. So zombie turn, Stay Puft thunders forward, and the rest of the guys just kind of creep in towards my guys. For spawns, the left-hand spawn zone gives us another runner. The right-hand gives us 2 more runners. That could be trouble. And then in the bottom, we get the Vince Clortho card again. Vince is already on the table, so I just plopped down another standard abomination. Over to the Ghostbusters, we're going to start with Winston. Winston fire axes that door down. So now he's looking into that left-hand side of the building, and there's 1 walker in the room right in front of him. He's going to have to get rid of that before we go any further, but he misses twice. Hey, he's new. For whatever reason, I'm not sure what I was thinking, the plan was to just try and loop around this building and avoid Stay Puft. But for whatever reason, I activate Egon next, and Egon is just not intimidated. He's going to shoot at Stay Puft, misses with his first shot, gets a hit with his second one. So he's thrown a capture stream on Stay Puft. That's all he can do this round. He spends his final action to just move 1 zone to the north with Winston. Okay, so we're in it now. We have to try and do something about Stay Puft because I don't want to waste that great shot that Egon just put on there. So I'm going to activate Pete next. Misses with his first shot. Gets it with his second. Roland's been kind of hot this game. Lots of 6s coming out. I like these Zombicide red dice. 5 XP for Venkman, 5 XP for Egon. That actually puts Egon in the yellow zone. Venkman still has 2 more actions. Moves into the room where Stay Puft was liquefied into Fluffernutter. Takes a shot at the walker in the north. Back down to 3 dice because his shots aren't consecutive anymore because I took that move action. Misses that walker. Why is this walker harder to kill than Stay Puft? But that's okay, we still have Ray Stans. Ray Stans moves into the same room that Stay Puft vacated. Again, takes a shot at that north walker and again misses. Wily little zombie. But now on our second shot, we have 4 dice. Manages to kill it off. 5 dice against the walker to the left, kills that off as well, clears the building to the north. It's looking kind of hairy out on the street, but we've got a clear path to the objective now. So speaking of out on the street, it's time for the zombie phase. All the zombies move up and we get a big pile of bad guys right outside the door. We get 4 walkers, Vince Clortho, a fatty, and 3 runners. And I can't shoot those runners until I get rid of all those walkers, Vince and the fatty. It's kind of a problem. And to add to that list of problems, for the spawn phase, off on the left, we get Zool again. Jeez, these terror dogs. And on the right, we get an extra walker activation, so all the walkers outside that door suddenly move into the building. That's actually not so bad. Might be a good thing to separate these groups a little bit. Definitely could have come at a worse time. Finally, Southern Spawn Zone gives us 3 more walkers. Okay, back to the Ghostbusters. We're going to start with Winston. Winston needs a little XP, and the objective will give him 5. So he's going to move 2 zones over to the left. Third action will grab the objective, brings him up to the yellow experience level, gets another action, just moves off to the right. Next will be Dr. Venkman. Dr. Venkman's going to shoot into that room on the right with all the walkers in it. First shot kills 1, second shot kills 2, third shot kills the last one. Not really a lot that I want to do with him for his last action. I don't want to move into that room because I'm worried I'm not going to kill off all those things, and I don't want the runners rushing in and eating me. Don't really want to search. Again, I'm scared of that awe card. So Venkman just chills. So I'm going to activate Spengler next. Spengler's going to move up 1 zone, take a shot into all those bad guys right outside the building. First shot manages to roll a 6 so I can get rid of the fatty. Second shot can't come up with the double 6 to get rid of Vince, and he's going to block all the hits on the runners. So for his final action, he's just going to back up to that room to the north. So that brings us to Ray. Ray moves forward to the room right by the door. Shoots out at that crowd of bad guys, misses with his first shot. Second shot, gets the double 6s again. Ray is on fire. Stands the hero. Nicely done. Kills off Zool and 1 runner. That puts him in the orange experience level. Fine, whatever, you deserve it. I'll give him the "Is that all you've got" skill, which I've read for the first time right now, and it is amazing. Anytime he would take a wound, he can discard an equipment piece to cancel it. So here's the thing. The smart play would probably be for me to back up with Ray, because I'm standing right in front of a zone with 2 runners. I've got 1 more action. I can take another shot with the proton pack, and I'd be firing at 5 dice. It's pretty reasonable for me to expect that I'd kill them both off. But if I flub it and I don't kill either of them off, they're going to run in and cause 2 wounds to me. But because I have that "Is that all you've got" skill, I could lose 2 pieces of equipment, like the frying pan and the rifle, and be okay, so long as the spawn phase doesn't come up with an extra runner activation. If that happens, then I'm just torn to pieces. So I hem and haw a little bit on this, and in the end I decide to go for it. I'm gonna take the shot. Even if I just kill 1 of them, I'd probably be alright. I didn't need to worry. Ray's just a machine. Kills off both of them. Fantastic. So then it's the zombie phase, which for whatever reason I didn't take a picture of. The regular abomination moves into the zone that I just cleared out. Zool and the remaining 3 walkers move up. For spawns, I'm in the orange zone now. I get a regular abomination. Since there's already 1 on the table, I spawn a fatty with 2 walker buddies. Over to the right, I get Gozer! Hooray! Another abomination. And Gozer has a special rule where I pick the rules from 2 other abominations, and that's what she gets. So as always, Gozer is going to get the special rules for Zool and Vince Clortho. And in the south, I get 3 runners. So back to the Ghostbusters, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a little bit of a chance. I'm going to activate Venkman. Venkman's going to move into that room that I just can't seem to get out of, right in front of the street. So now I can see all the way down, and I can see those runners that just appeared. The thing that I'm thinking is that if I kill off this abomination, I still can't move out onto the street because those runners will be right there, and they'll jump on me, and if they get an extra activation, I'm just going to be dead. So what Pete's going to do is he's going to taunt the runners. That'll sprint them forward into the same zone as the abomination, which you would think would be a bad thing, and maybe it is. But the thing is, if I kill off this abomination, and I plan to, then that means I'm rolling at least 2 6s. So I'm getting 2 hits, might as well kill something else while I'm doing that. And I'd really like it to be those runners. Taunt is a free action, so Venkman still has 3 more actions he can take. Shoots, misses. Second one, gets the double 6, kills off the abomination and 1 more runner. That puts him up to the orange experience level. Yeah, Slippery is really good. I'm going to go and give him Lucky. He's rolling lots of dice, the ability to re-roll all of them, looking for those 5s and 6s. That just sounds really good. So Venkman has 1 more shot, uses it to kill off the last 2 runners. Great job, Pete. And then in all the confusion, I lose track of how many actions he has. I give him an extra 1, he moves out onto the street. I don't think it really makes that big a difference. After what he did, there you go. Free action, whatever. Winston's up next, moves out onto the street to join Venkman, takes a shot at the walkers to the south, completely misses. Can't be lucky all the time. Ray is next, moves to join Winston and Venkman. 3 more actions, takes his first shot at the walkers to the south. I figure I'm pretty unlikely to roll 2 6s on my first shot. Still do real well though, kill off 2 of the walkers. Now I'm rolling 4 dice, it's a little bit more likely I'm going to go ahead and take a shot at Zool. Misses with the 4 dice shot, gets it with the second. Zool's down. I think when monsters tell stories to scare their kids, they tell it about Ray Stans. Egon's up next, moves 2 zones, kills the walker to the south, takes another shot with that extra range of his, kills 2 more walkers over there. Look at us cleaning up the streets. Zombie turn, just 2 monsters left on the board. Gozer moves up on the right, the fatty moves up on the left. Over to the spawn phase, we get Zool again over on the left. Knocking these guys down is not the problem. Getting to stay down is the issue. We get 1 runner on the right and 3 runners in the south. Gotta get out of the center of the board. I just feel these things are just gonna keep coming at me. We're gonna start with Dr. Spengler this round. I'm gonna shoot all the way on the right past Gozer with that extra range of his. I'm gonna try and get rid of that 1 runner. Those things bug me. Egon manages to kill it with his first shot. He then shoots down south, kills off another runner. We're cooking with gas. We're up to 5 dice with our next shot. We're gonna fire it at Zool. Zool's 2 squares away. Egon's the one to take the shot. Unfortunately, doesn't come up with the double 6s. That's okay. You done good. I need to get moving though. Egon uses his last action to move up 1 square, get in front of that blue door that I need to get to. Winston moves to join him, takes a shot at the runners, kills off 1 runner, second shot kills off another one. Good, cleared that area. That's what I needed to do. I got 1 more action. I'm standing in front of the door that I need to open, and Winston's got the fire axe. Maybe it's a bad idea, but I'm gonna go for it. We're gonna open up that last room. Need to go there. I still got 2 more Ghostbusters left. It should be fine. So spawning those 2 rooms, the furthest one gives us 2 runners. Could be a problem. I'm a little worried about that. And then the next room gives us 5 walkers to act as a bodyguard for those runners. Oh, that's a lot of dudes. Okay, I can't mess around with these abominations anymore. I gotta get rid of all those guys. Ray moves up, and like the champ he's been all game, his first shot kills off 2 more walkers. Slows down a little bit, second shot with 4 dice, misses completely. Third and final shot, though, kills off the remaining 3. Good old room clearer Ray. Venkman is last to go. I'm probably going to be okay, even if those 2 runners move into the zone with all my Ghostbusters. We should be able to absorb all those wounds. But Pete does have 4 actions, might as well move 2 zones into the room where all those zombies died. Last action, 3 dice. Like an absolute champ, he kills off the 2 runners. Couldn't ask for more. Great job, Ghostbusters. He takes his last action to move back out onto the street just to provide a little support for the rest of his friends. Over to the zombie phase. So Zool, Gozer, and the fatty continue to stomp towards us, go onto the spawn phase. Over on the left, we get a sewer spawn. This is something that I think only shows up in Zombicide 1st Edition. Every tile on the board that has an open sewer marker and a Ghostbuster on it is going to spawn 2 walkers. Well, yeah, sure enough, we're out on the street and we're standing by that sewer entrance, and so 2 walkers show up in our zone. That's new. Not new, over on the right, we get Stay Puft again. Not a concern right now. He does not have the speed to get me. What does have the speed will be the 3 runners that show up in the south. Jeez. I do not like hanging out this close to these spawn points. But you know what? I've got 2 walkers in my zone, and yes, some of my Ghostbusters do have fire axes and crowbars, and I can try and bonk them on the head and move into the building on the right, but it's not necessary. With 2 zombies in my zone, it's only going to take me 3 actions to move out of there, and then it's just 1 more action to get to the exit, and then I can just leave, so that's what I do. All 4 Ghostbusters spend the first 3 action to get out of that zone, move into the building on the lower right. Last action is spent moving 1 zone south onto the exit point, and we get out. Another successful mission for the Ghostbusters. And so not too bad. This is probably as easy a mission as you can play. Small map, small number of spawn points, relatively straightforward victory objectives. And still, it's easy to get really nervous when you're firing a bunch of proton streams at an abomination bearing down on you and you're just hoping to see a couple of 6s on that die roll. Because it's not guaranteed, and even though I rolled real well in this game, it always felt close. I know I gave Venkman that extra movement in that one spot, and that convinced me to take the extra move into that room and kill off those 2 runners, but it worked out. Even if he wasn't able to move back into the zone with all the Ghostbusters, he still would have killed off those 2 runners, and everything would have been fine. So thanks for watching. Leave a comment below if you have any questions, observations, or concerns. I went and played out the next mission, and it's going to be a long time before I bring that to the channel. Let's just say I used a lot of zombies. I got to paint up like all the zombies in the first edition box in order to show that to you. So it won't be for a bit. But that's okay, I've got other projects that I'm working on. Hopefully I'll see you on the next one.